Hello everyone, welcome to Roughcut, an NBS student-run variety show. I'm your host, Drew Fox, and we have a great show for you today. So we're just going to dive right in with the news.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the news desk. I'm Merle LaRose.
And I'm Michelle Erickson. There was a deadly house fire along East 4th Street in Bloomsburg on Monday, November 5th around 8:30 p.m. 65-year-old Ray Hunter got caught in the fire and passed away. Hunter lived in the house with his girlfriend, who was not home at the time. The cause of fire is still under investigation. State police fire marshals believe it to be an accident. It is believed that hoarding may have been what caused the fire to spread so fast and is what caused the firefighters a hard time accessing the home to get him out. Foul play is not suspected.
Around 3:30 Friday morning, a young man who attended Bloomsburg University attempted to rob Unimart convenience store located on Light Street. He was wearing a Halloween pumpkin mask and an all-black outfit. He argued and fought with the cashier, which caused his mask to fall off, and this was all caught on the surveillance footage. The young man was picked up at his dorm on campus Saturday morning and has been held in Columbia County since.
Bloomsburg University women's soccer team is advancing to the NCAA tournament. On Sunday afternoon, November 11th, the Huskies beat East Stroudsburg University and extended their unbeaten streak to 15 consecutive games. They are now advancing to play 6th-seeded West Virginia Wesleyan and 2nd-seeded Westchester this upcoming Sunday, November 18th, for the Atlantic Regional Championship. Good luck.
That's all we have for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night.
Thanks guys, now let's head over to Hotspot to hear about our favorite celebrity news.
Hey everyone, I'm Marty Spiewak and welcome back to Hotspot, your all-access pass to everything entertainment news. On Saturday, October 27th, Kanye West dropped a new pair of shoes, the Yeezy 700 Mauve, retailing at $300. Typically, Yeezys sell out in minutes. This time around, not so much. Many online were quick to suggest that sales were weak and attributed this to Kanye's recent cozying up with the president. Sources close to Kanye are saying that sales are unaffected by Kanye's politics. The new Yeezy release boasted what sources close to Kanye say is a 10-fold increase in product volume. When Adidas originally partnered up with Kanye, they only produced the shoes in extremely limited quantities, using product scarcity to create a cult following for the brand. Research shows that it's bad for companies to use product scarcity as a long-term strategy. What we could be seeing is Adidas trying to move away from using this strategy, or the Yeezy brand could be imploding in front of us. We'll see how Kanye's new Yeezy Boost 350 V2 does on the 9th of this month. Now over to Alyssa with some celebrity jail sentencing.
Hey everyone, I'm Alyssa Michon. Mike Sorrentino, better known as The Situation from Jersey Shore, pleaded guilty back in January of 2018 to several charges involving tax evasion. His brother Mark also had to plead guilty to one count of aiding to the preparation of a fraudulent tax return. The brothers were failing to pay taxes on $8.9 million in earnings between 2010 and 2012, while Mike was starring on the MTV hit show. October 5th, 2018, he returned back into court accompanied by his fiancée and his Jersey Shore castmates to find out his sentencing. Reality star was sentenced to 8 months in federal prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release, 500 hours of community service, a $10,000 fine, and $123,000 in restitution, which has already been paid. Mike's attorney made a statement to reporters saying, Mike accepts the court's judgment. He is looking forward to marrying his college sweetheart, Lauren Paces, next month and moving forward together after he serves his sentence. Mike also tweeted, "We are very happy to put this behind us. Thank you so much for all the love and support." The Situation's brother, Mark Sorrentino, was sentenced to 24 months in prison. He was also fined with $7,500 and restitution to be determined at a later date. He will be under supervised release for 1 year following his sentence. Since his sentence, Mike has gotten so much love and support on social media. His now wife tweeting, "Thank you for all your love and support. We are happy to put an end to this chapter and excited to move forward in our future. We are blessed to have health and the outpouring support from family, friends, and fans. We love you. Also, since he's married his college sweetheart, Lauren Pisces, on November 1st and due to start his 8-month sentence in January 2019. Now over to Michelle with some Halsey and G-Eazy breakup gossip.
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Erickson. Halsey just released her music video for her song Without Me on October 29th. The video goes through matters such as borderline alcoholism, abuse, stealing from your significant other, and a few other scenarios. Halsey shared a message on Instagram and Twitter about the music video. The story is a combination of relationships that I've been in or watched people that I love go through. After watching the music video, a lot of fans, including myself, have come to the realization of how similar the male actor looks to G-Eazy, even to the way that he dresses. Some comments on the video are, G-Eazy has left the chat, and this seems like a part 2 of the Him and I music video, which, if you guys don't remember, is the music video from last December starring both Halsey and G-Eazy madly in love. Halsey and G-Eazy dated for about a year before calling it quits. After trying again in mid to late October, Halsey broke it off due to past issues with him. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think it's a strange coincidence that the male actor looks like G-Eazy, or do you think that she had a purpose behind it? Well, that's all we have for today. Join us next time right here on Hotspot.
In my opinion, Halsey definitely did that on purpose. Now let's head over to Against the Clock to hear about the sports world.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's show of Against the Clock, your variety sports talk show where we take 3 topics and debate those topics for 90 seconds each. Let's go ahead and tip off tonight's show with college basketball. As you both know that the season tipped off last night with several top 10 teams were in action on opening night, with one of them sticking out to many, and that's the Duke Blue Devils, who came into the season ranked number 4 but put a beating to number 2 last night. That is Kentucky. With Kansas also with a strong outing against a tough opponent in Michigan State. What are your guys' predictions for the Final Four come March? Jimmy, I'm going to start with, Hunter, I'm going to start with you.
I think there's a couple monster teams that can make a serious run at the title this year. My Final Four prediction, I have Kansas, I have Duke, I have Virginia, and I have Gonzaga. But for me, I think the obvious choice as of now with all the hype building around them is the Duke Blue Devils with the monster recruiting class of Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Trey Jones, Cam Reddish. Although you might need that veteran leadership, I think they have enough talent down in their freshman class to be able to carry them down the stretch.
I'm going to say mine is somewhat similar. I'm going to have to say Duke, Kansas. I'm going to have to mix it up a little bit, North Carolina and Villanova. I just think that, these are teams that in the past have been known to do so great. And, Villanova under Jay Wright, I really like Villanova always. I believe Randall Pascal was like the leading scorer for them the other night. And, they looked like they were right back, returning champs from last year, winning the tournament and everything like that. So it's always good to see a team come back strong. But I will agree with Hunter. Duke, they looked really good last night. Zion Williamson had 28 and 7, 7 rebounds. I think he played great for a debut for a rookie.
Yeah, I do think this is the year Virginia does break out. They've had trouble in the past making a stretch. Like obviously last year with the disappointment being bounced in the first round. I think this is the year. We all know Tony Bennett's a great defensive coach, arguably the best defensive coach in the country. But I do think this is the year they get a guy like Kyle Guy, their junior, their leader on offense, and I do think they make an explosion offensively this year.
That's all we have for topic 1. As now we head to the NFL before the trade deadline. The Dallas Cowboys sent a first-round draft pick to the Oakland Raiders for Amari Cooper. Several Dallas fans were ecstatic about this trade, but when it came to Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans, they laid an egg. Is it time now for the Dallas Cowboys to make a change in Big D, or what needs to happen now with a 3-5 start to the season?
This may be a very biased opinion due to my favorite team, Philadelphia Eagles. But I've never been a big fan of Dak Prescott. I think he's part of the reason. I don't think he's essentially the quarterback that will get them to the spot that they need to be. And behind him, you have to look at guys like Cooper Rush. And, I'm not too sure of, who the third string is, but they don't really have a definite leader on that team. You could depend on Ezekiel Elliott to get you your yards, but he can't do it all. We've seen that with the New York Giants, with Saquon Barkley. So I personally think it's the quarterback situation.
Well, nowadays it's always going to start from the manager and all the way down to the bottom. And I think although Jerry Jones has had success back in the 90s and all the great runs he's had, at some point the blame's got to go on his shoulders. They have 2 playoff wins in 23 years, and we all know Jerry Jones is a great football mind. But I think his biggest issue is he lets his relationships with his staff and his players and his coaches get the best of him. Him and Jason Garrett seem to be all buddy-buddy, and I think the personnel around the franchise itself is starting to get annoyed with how he's carrying his relationships with the coach, because most people in the NFL don't believe Jason Garrett should have a job.
Yeah, and I agree. I feel like most coaches in Jason Garrett's situation would have been fired by now. That's ridiculous. Like you said, 2 playoff wins since probably, 96? Mm-hmm. That was like the last time they actually were, considered good, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even get past the wild card game, let alone, get to an NFC championship. So I just think it's a little ridiculous. I think they need to make that move and either, get a new hired coach or get a new quarterback.
Well, the Cowboys are certainly a mess, and we'll see what happens later down the season. But as we wrap up tonight's show, let's talk about one team in the NBA that was thought to be in contention in the West. Now we know it's only early in the season, but the LA Lakers are sitting in 11th in the conference with a 4-6 record. Is it time for Magic Johnson to pull the plug on Luke Walton, or is there other changes that we need to make that are needed to be made to the roster before that happens? Hunter, I'll start with you.
Corey, I think it's pretty simple. I think right now they have no intensity on defense whatsoever. They are 28th out of 30 teams in the NBA in defensive rating right now. They're allowing 120 points a game, and being the leader of that team, LeBron's got to be the first guy to make a move. He's not living up on his end of the bargain on playing defense, and once he starts picking up his intensity, all the younger guys that he's surrounding himself will also pick up their end of the bargain.
I will also say, too, LeBron should have known what he was getting himself into with the Los Angeles Lakers. This is exactly what I saw. I know a couple episodes ago I spoke about the LeBron era possibly being over. I just think playing in LA, playing in the Western Conference is just a tough feat. Like, he's never really had to face this in the Eastern Conference, A lot of the Eastern teams aren't, dynamically built like this and have the bench to, really battle. But I feel like LA is being that youngest, the baby team of the West. And, you got the Timberwolves, they beat the Blazers the other night, but the Blazers are even a tough team. You got the Rockets, you can't forget about them. There's a lot of good teams in the West. So I just think he just has to take that veteran position. Like he said, once he steps up the slack, I think everything will be fine.
And I know Magic Johnson said that Luke Walton's job is secure. I don't necessarily feel that way. I believe if Luke Walton, I think in their next 9 games they play 7 teams that are under 500, and if they slack it during this stretch, they might be in trouble. Luke Walton might lose his job, and they're not getting any consistency. One night it's Lonzo, one night it's Kuzma. They haven't really got much production from Brandon Ingram at all, but they got to get this consistent production from all these players any given night.
And if LeBron wants to win a championship, it's got to happen soon with his career winding down. That's all we have for this week's episode. Join us again in 2 weeks to discuss more breaking topics in the sports world here on Only Against the Clock. I'm your host, Corey Zimmerman, with Hunter Emmenheiser and Jimmy Brown. We'll see you guys next time.
In my expert opinion, LeBron should have come to Philly. Now let's see what happens in the daily life of our most mysterious member, Jack Burns, in this week's Digital Short.
Jack, wake up. Your alarm's been going off for the past 6 hours. Bro. Jack.
Dude, wake up. That is the most annoying alarm I've ever heard in my life. Don't you have class, like, right now, Jack?
Dude, I'm gonna sit in class till 6 tonight.
It's 5:50.
Why are you waking me up so early?
5:50 p.m., Jack. 5:50 p.m. Oh, God.
Well, guess I'm not going to class today. Might as well go to the frat. Okay, we're ready.
Yo, Jack.
Oh, crap, man.
Forever, man.
Yeah, how you been?
What you up to?
Usual, man.
Still Mormon?
Nah, man. They're crazy.
Can I help you?
Is Jack home?
No, he, just left. Can I ask what this is about?
Jack has stolen something of great importance to me, and I want it back.
Well, based on your comically evil tone of voice, I think it's best not to say anything and just close the door in your face, so...
Plus, I think devoting my life to a dogmatic and unrealistic ideology is something I shouldn't be doing with my life.
That's fair. Is there anything else you've been up to?
Well, I became a supreme leader at a fraternity.
Is that right?
Yeah, we call ourselves the Gingerbread Man.
I wouldn't expect any less of you.
Dude, you want to join? At the frat house, I got some great literature as to why gingerbread men are the true Greeks.
Try and help the look?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Who lives on front row?
Welcome back, brother.
Woo! Brothers, I am pleased to announce that we have a new member.
Praise Milton Hershey.
Right or left twigs, both are okay.
Praise Milton Hershey.
Lemon heads suck red hot, and Haribo gummy bears are the best.
Praise Milton Hershey.
Down with Mars, up with Three Musketeers.
Praise Milton Hershey.
Jack! Come to reclaim what you've stolen from me.
And you are?
You don't recognize me?
Am I supposed to recognize you?
Come on, man. No. 2 years ago, you stole something of great importance to me. Now, using all of Drew's life savings, I've finally tracked you down. I want my bag of marshmallows back.
Oh, dude, I remember you now. Dude, I ate those years ago. Here you are, man. Jeez, I forgot. You meant these, right?
You are the virgin!
Thanks, guys. That's all we have for today. I'm your host, Drew Fox. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media accounts. Thank you, guys, and good night, Bloomsburg.